It's one thing to talk about Mount St. Helens erupting in science class. It's another thing altogether to watch a video of the mountain's summit exploding into dust. Teachers all across Curtis are finding that carefully chosen videos help students engage more deeply with the subject matter and recall the information they've learned longer. Let's peek into a 21st century classroom to see video in action.
All right, boys and girls. We have an awesome video that's going to take us about 4 classes this week to get through. It's on early humans, Cro-Magnon man. Yeah! All right.
SAC Western France. Discovered in 1868, Cro-Magnon remains were the first anatomically modern human fossils to be found in Europe.
For a long time, we believed that the Cro-Magnons were the first of modern humans. The fossil record told us that for quite a long time, that modern humans had appeared quite suddenly in Europe about 40,000 years ago. And that part is true, except they were not the earliest modern humans. Fully modern humans had appeared at least 100,000 years earlier in Africa. So Cro-Magnons were part of that early African group that had migrated into Western Europe.
Several features set Homo sapiens apart from Neanderthal. Generally,
Hi everyone. So we're talking about posting videos on Schoology today. As the 6th grade LLD teacher, I find that it's really helpful to have videos posted to my Schoology page for students, especially for math. A lot of times during class, when you're explaining a concept, some kids aren't paying attention, maybe they miss something, and when they go home for their homework, they get really nervous if they don't know what to do. So a video is a great way for them to see what they should be doing and to look step by step to what I've already taught them. And it also helps reinforce any information that we've learned in class. So on my Schoology page, when I post my homework, I also post videos that will either give them review of what we've done in class, will help them with new concepts. I also like to do this when we review for quizzes because it really helps students to see all of the material together. And I will do it when we have a new concept so they can really take some time and learn at home.
At the end of our physics curriculum in 8th grade, we give a summative exam that's given by all the teachers. And this year, we decided to give that exam to some students who hadn't traditionally taken it before, particularly in the LLD program. And we made a modified version of the exam, and then we created videos because the exam is based on a couple of scenarios where the students read about a scenario and then answer a bunch of questions about different aspects of how physics applies to that scenario. And in order to make the scenario information more accessible and not only be in print, we produced about a 5-minute video for each of the 2 scenarios that is a mix of slides from a presentation, video we found online, and titles and voiceover to explain the scenario. We then made that available to all students. It's been beneficial for ELL students, it's been beneficial for the LLD students, and it's been beneficial for students who just prefer to see and hear about things and not just read them in print. And we've been using that the last few days with the exam, and it's been very successful.
So I used to give the students their composer project, and I used to pass out the papers in class, and I used to have one whole class discussion about the project, explaining the project, answering all their questions. And now I've eliminated that need for that class time by posting it on Schoology. So I made a screencast which has the document.
This is a video to help you
and
better
explains the whole project and walks them through the document. And then the students can go in, and on Schoology, they actually post their questions about the project, and they actually answer them each other, or I can go in and answer their questions, but it saves 40 minutes of class time, and instead they're doing it on their own time, and the total time of my video was 10 minutes. So it's definitely a time saver.
So last year, I was planning to show the Maniac McGee movie when we came back from Christmas vacation. We're supposed to have a 2-day week. It snowed. Sounds kind of familiar. So I decided to assign it to kids as homework the following week. Kids had Monday through Friday to watch a movie and respond to a couple of discussions. The feedback I got was that it was the best homework assignment ever. Kids did a great job on the discussions. So this year, instead of wasting all that class time to show the movie, I did the same exact thing. Kids went home, watched the movie. We used our class time to talk about through the discussion questions.
So I've always felt like sometimes presentations that students give, group presentations, can be a drain on class time. So last year we had the iPad minis and we had Schoology, and I thought, well, rather than have a presentation for this assignment, how about if the kids create a skit and film it and just upload it to Schoology so that they can all watch it on their own time at home. And that actually ended up taking longer because kids really wanted to get the skit perfect before they filmed, and the actual skit became more about the dialogue and the jokes and the production value than it did about the content. So this year, instead of having the kids create videos, they still created skits, but I grabbed another student in the audience to film the skit while it was going on, and then posted all of the filmed skits to Schoology. And those then became a resource for students as they were writing a summative, persuasive letter to go back and look at the information that was provided, not just by the groups in their class, but by the groups in the other classes as well. And about half of the kids told me that they went back and looked at it. And even better than that, parents were able to see what their students were doing in class. I was able to send that home to the parents and really got some positive feedback from parents about that involvement in what their kids were doing.
So I incorporate videos in my classroom often just because I think it's good for the students to see other people explaining whatever topic we're going over in class. There are some visuals that can be presented that, you know, I can't necessarily show. Topics can be explained in ways that the kids enjoy, and I just think anytime you present information in a different venue, you know, is a good way to expand upon whatever it is that I'm teaching.
So for the last couple of years in 8th grade science, one way that we've taught kids about physics is through a project about moving water, and we give them a real world problem to solve. As an introduction to the real world problems about water, we have about a 15-minute video that we produced with iMovie using clips we found online, still photos, and titles that we added to show the students what some of the water issues were that people face in the world. And that ties directly to the machines that they're building in class and that they analyze for the physics, to give them a connection between the classroom work and where that might be used in the real world.
This is my 7th grade computer class, and my students are doing a video for their public service announcement for their digital citizenship unit. The project is very interesting because it engaged students to using their creativity and also the storyline, the design part of it, and to come up with their own way of presenting their ideas about the digital citizenship.
Hello, bonjour. So today I'm going to talk about how I flipped my classroom, and it's a really good tool for me this year. It freed a lot of time in my classroom for the kids to speak French in my classroom and do all the rest at home and watching my video. So I have a YouTube channel where I've put all my videos. So I've got quite a few that I've done. And I've used them to do, for example, pronunciation lessons, like this one.
Et. So repeat after me. Jouer. Parler. Étudier. Téléphoner.
Etc. So for me, the technology has been a key tool to teach the pronunciation and the accent to the kids, and they could repeat after me at their own pace at home, and their pronunciation has really improved. So I use my YouTube videos a lot to flip my classroom, and to make sure my students watch the videos, I'm using an app called EduCanon, and it's part of Schoology, so you can download it very easily. It's the last app here on my screen. So if you launch it, so you need to launch the app, and it's probably there already. Then you can see that I've already created what they called bulbs, and bulbs are just simply the video you're uploading in Educanon, and you can add questions along the way so that the kids can need to answer those questions to be able to complete the assignments. So if you click on the bulb, you will see the video. So that's the teacher.
This is a lesson about the time.
That's the teacher screen basically, but I've got my lesson here and I've got all the questions I've asked my students on the right hand side. And to monitor their progress, I just click here and I select my class. I select the bulb, and to monitor their progress, I just click here and I select my class. I select the bulb I want to have a look at, and here it is, all the questions they answered. Green is good, red means that I have to go back in class and focus my teaching on those key points because it means that they didn't understand it. So for me, it's a really great way to focus my teaching on what they need to improve. And I think it's a fantastic tool.
If Isaac Newton had done YouTube videos on calculus, I wouldn't have to. Assuming he was good. We don't know. The other thing that happened, and, even at this point, I said, okay, maybe it's a good supplement, it's good for motivated students, it's good for maybe homeschoolers, but I didn't think it would be something that would somehow penetrate the classroom. But then I started getting letters from teachers. And the teachers would write saying, we've used your videos to flip the classroom. You've given the lectures. So now what we do, and this could actually happen in every classroom in America tomorrow, what I do is I assign the lectures for homework, and what used to be homework, I now have the students doing in the classroom. And I want to pause here for I want to pause here for a second because there's a couple of interesting things. One, when those teachers are doing that, there's the obvious benefit. There's the benefit that now their students can enjoy the videos in the way that my cousins did. They can pause, repeat at their own pace, at their own time. But the more interesting thing, and this is the unintuitive thing when you talk about technology in the classroom, by removing the one-size-fits-all lecture from the classroom and letting students have a self-paced lecture at home, and then when you go to the classroom, letting them do work, having the teacher walk around, having the peers actually be able to interact with each other, these teachers have used technology to humanize the classroom. They took a fundamentally dehumanizing experience, a bunch of 30 kids with their fingers on their lips, not allowed to interact with each other. A teacher, no matter how good, has to give this kind of one-size-fits-all lecture to 30 students, blank faces, slightly antagonistic, and now it's a human experience. Now they're actually interacting with each other.
I'm so happy I found a video that's going to take the whole next week, and now I don't have to plan a thing for my classes.
First, let me take a selfie.
Wait.
Can you guys help me pick a filter? I don't know if I should go with XX Pro or Valencia. I want to look different. What should I capture? I want it to be fun. I want to have lights for around 5 minutes. Do you think I should take it down? Let me take another selfie.
Get out your journals.